Mr Hockey, according to Alan Kohler, the last politician to tell the truth about a budget was John Hewson, and we all know how that ended.
And he didn't deliver one.
Therefore, do you think it's inevitable that politicians need to lie to get elected? And do you think that an opposition that was truly truthful would ever win an election?
No, I don't think you have to lie to get elected.
Can I just ask you, do you still maintain that no direct promises were broken in the lead-up to this budget?
Well, yes, and I'll say why. For example, we said, number one, we would stop the boats. And we have stopped the boats, right? We have stopped the boats. And we are closing 9 detention centres. 9 detention centres we are closing because we have stopped the boats. Number two, we said we'd get rid of the carbon tax. And we are getting rid of the carbon tax because that is a hit on families.
All right, I'm just going
to...
just before you go on, I'm just going to issue a warning, if I can, to the audience. You're here to listen. You're here to ask questions. It's not a good idea to heckle. If you can avoid that, that'd be great. Let's go on to...
Hang on.
Let's go on to finish your answer. Well, okay, make them quick.
Well, number three, we promised to build the infrastructure of the 21st century, and we're doing that, particularly here in Western Sydney. We're committing billions of dollars to build a second airport, to roll out the roads that need to be built. And the fourth area that we've focused on is fixing the budget, and that's what we're doing.
That was a question about promises, and we've got another question on that subject. It's from Tyler McAnally. Down there.
Prior to the election, the Prime Minister promised that a coalition government would deliver no cuts to education, no cuts to health, no cuts to pensions, no changes to the GST, and no cuts to the ABC or SBS. How can you then defend the budget you delivered last week, which basically went against everything you promised to deliver when elected?
Tyler, we have to do what is right. Now, what we're doing is we're increasing education funding substantially over the next 3 years, which is the 4 years that we promised to do it in, right? So it was this year and the next 3. We're doing that. We're increasing education funding substantially by nearly 9% per year. We're increasing hospital funding by nearly 9% per year for the next 3 years. In fact...
Well, the states are saying quite clearly that you're reducing hospital funding up to, I think, from the 1st of July, and they're now citing the figure of $1.8 billion cut from the budget over the next 4 years. Is that true or not?
We are giving the states an extra $9 billion in net terms over the next 4 years. They just got a $4 billion windfall from the GST, an increase of $4 billion in the GST. So what we've said is we're increasing hospitals, we're increasing schools funding, and we're not touching pensions. We said that. After the next election, Australians have a right to make a decision about our promises in relation to the pensions. And in relation to the ABC, I plead guilty. I could not bring myself. The ABC hasn't had an efficiency dividend for more than a decade, and I've asked them to take a 1% cut in the year ahead because, frankly, I couldn't ask every other area of government to take a cut and the ABC not to.
When you say you're not cutting pensions, you're cutting pensioner concessions.
No, I don't accept that we are. What's happened is that pensioner concessions at a state level are funded by the federal government. So we don't pay Hoyts and Myers and everyone else to give pensioner concessions, but they do. And what we've said to the states is, given you've got this $9 billion windfall over the next 4 years, at a time when our revenue is actually falling, you're getting a $9 billion windfall, you've got to pick up the can, and they will, for the pensioner concessions on railway and so on.